I want to introduce to Lou Baldino, who is our architect, and is going to lead us through this presentation today. So, are you having trouble hearing me? Okay. Please, we'll have about 30 minutes or so of the presentation, and then 15 minutes of Q&A, and then we'll go outside, because I think it's helpful. It's such a pretty day anyway. We'll be moving around, thinking about it, and then actually get to see, out front. So, without further ado, I'm going to turn this over to Lou.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So we were hired several months ago to take your final concept of just the entrance, making the accessible entrance at the main sanctuary, and to run with that. So we've developed a concept submission that has gone to HPRB. There's a hearing on March 28th for that approval. So until we get to that approval, we're kind of on hold. We do have. You want to go to the slide schedule? Can you all see that? Okay. So March 28th is the meeting with the Preservation Review Board. To get there, we have to go to the ANC and to the Cleveland Park Historic.
From Mike.
Yes,
please.
Yeah.
The acoustics in this room are terrible.
Okay. She said she's getting a microphone.
she needed help getting outside.
So tomorrow night we have a hearing with the ANC's Historic Preservation Committee, and then the following Monday we have a hearing with the Cleveland Park Historical Society, their architectural review committee. We don't necessarily need their approval. We kind of need their buy-in. The Preservation Review Board, weighs gives good weight to their input. We met this week with Mark and Serena, with the preservation officer for the review board, who was seeing the church for the first time and seeing the concept for the first time. Met with her for over an hour. By the end of it, she kind of understood better. She asked about alternative solutions, which you all looked at before. We don't know where she's going to come down, whether she can be for us or look to have it modified. She brought up a couple modifications during the process that I didn't think were viable. So say we get approval from the review board on March 28th, we need another month to do our construction drawings. So we'd be going in for permit end of April, also go out to bid at that time, and we estimate 10 weeks for approval. At that point, that gets us to the beginning of July, and hopefully at that point we've got a contractor set up, ready to go. They need a month to prep and order materials, get drawings approved. So we're trying to get construction started August 1st, which is when Kinderhouse is. And we estimate another 3 months to do the work. So done by winter, end of October, early November. Any questions on the schedule?
Oh, can I just, in the event, you said the process would slip a month if you don't get the approval. What does that do for the August?
Everything moves a month.
Right.
Yeah, and that's going to the next HPRB hearing. They meet once a month.
Right.
And
so does that mean we missed the Kinderhouse window?
we do.
But we can still do it.
Some kind of workaround that you all would have to talk to Kinderhouse about.
And are we optimistic about it?
We are confident.
Would delay cost extra money?
No,
Is the cost $180,000?
we had two estimates that was about the middle of the two estimates.
So you have a lower one and a higher one. What are the lower ones?
I'd have to look them up, but I can do that later.
Back to the schedule, is there anything we can do to help support making this happen?
Yes.
Making the review process
Yes.
go smoothly in the next month?
You can write letters to HPRB, you can attend the meetings are virtual with the ANC and with the Cleveland Park Historic Society. I'm not worried about them because they already approved the concept unanimously, but that was 4 years ago with different board members. Yeah. So if you want to, I mean, I'm sure you all know the drill. You've probably been through construction projects and dealing with the city, but yeah, the more letters you write, the more it'll help. And we can talk, I can talk to Mark about how to do that, and maybe he can post it.
That would be
Yeah.
great, if we could be given the address to write to and what package to cite, and so we can communicate support.
And maybe high points as
Yes.
to what we should include in the letter.
Thank you.
Sure. This is the city's historic map. Church is a contributing resource in the historic district, which is why we're subject to the board review. This is I guess it's the opening.
Can you speak louder?
I can't, sorry.
What's the name of the historic district? Cleveland Park?
Cleveland Park Historic.
And it
Cleveland Park
goes
Historic.
all of Cleveland Park, all the way down to Connecticut and up to Wisconsin?
I have to check the map.
Go online and see.
Yeah, it's mapped out online.
So it's the neighborhood of Cleveland,
Most of it.
but not down Cleveland.
The old historic one, not real estate.
So that's your original church, sorry, go back. Original church, 1918, which is amazing that only used it for 5 years. And it's funny, I guess the sidewalk had been built, but the steps leading up to the entrance hadn't been built yet. They're essentially walking up where the ramp's gonna go. Okay. These images are mostly for people who aren't familiar with the church. But Mark right there, sorry, back one. So these steps will be demoed. And basically we're pushing this out in order to bring the ramp up next to the cheek wall. And then of course we'll be flush with the doors so you can roll in. The cheek wall itself will be modified because we're going to be out a little bit. So it won't have the angle down anymore. It'll just come out straight. Okay. Same thing at this entrance, all this walkway, those steps will get rebuilt. You all have a water issue. There's water infiltration at this point, which we'll be fixing at the same time.
So will the ramp be used to go in the parlor as well?
No, so we come in about here and then ramp up the rest of the way.
So what about that stairway and that sidewalk that it intersects?
This will all get rebuilt.
So I don't understand how you would get in the parlor separately.
Okay, you'll see it later. Okay. These two cheek walls will stay where they are, as is. And maybe we do some cleaning as part of this project.
Oh, that's nice.
Just one thing to note, the stone here is different than the stone on the church. It's more rectilinear, smaller stone. So all the new walls that we're doing for the stairs and the ramp, we're going to match this stone, not the building stone. Just so we're distinct, we're making the new work feel more like part of the landscape.
Oh, no.
The ramp is over here.
That's where I wanted to keep my hostages. You're gonna get rid of that?
The areaways are important. That's the daylight for Kinderhouse, and we don't want to impact your lease. That's an important source of revenue. And we don't want to move that gas meter. That would be a costly expense. And so the ramp is just outside of this. So we're keeping that daylight.
The ramp is outside the hedging.
No, it is
It
where
it is where the hedge is.
Yeah.
So the window wells remain unchanged.
Right.
You can still keep your hostages there.
I got a man and a woman's side. They have a bathroom in between.
There's that gas meter, which is one of the biggest ones I've seen. And this is where we'll modify that cheek wall. This is a site plan of the existing conditions. The property line is about 10 feet back of the sidewalk. So we're getting both a permit for the work on private property and a public space permit from DDOT for the work beyond.
So is that 10 feet the same everywhere in Cleveland Park?
Probably not. I think on the avenues it would be wider. This is the concept that you all had done, the prior architect had done, that was submitted to the Historic Society and that they approved. And we've modified it a little bit, which I'll show you on the next page. But basic concept is like that, except we're going straight. We need more run, more ramp run, and we're not going that far. We've pulled in to here. Also by the prior architect, can you scroll up a little bit, Mark? We took out these piers, which we thought were not, just more noise on the elevation. It was too much. You know, we want to keep the original features of the church and not have new ones like that out front. Demo plan, basically what I talked about before, cutting through the garden wall along the street, along the sidewalk over here. And then this is a rendering of the new concept. So like I said, the new garden walls are there. You go up 1, 2, 3, 4 steps here, and then you can take the ramp to that entrance. Ramp wraps around here. And then all those steps are pushed tight to the sidewalk. So basically, it's a sort of narrow window that we have to hit between how many steps we need here and the gas meter on the backside, where we can bring the ramp in there.
I have a question. I don't know if there's any way, Mark, for you to reduce the size of that, because you can't really see the full expanse of the church, and I think that it's around.
Can you show where the garden entrance is and how that's impacted by this rain?
On the plan, I'll show you. Yeah.
Could I have a question. There's a Deodore cedar now. Is that going to be gone?
It will need its low. It doesn't have to be gone. It's about, well, we'll do that on the plan too.
Well,
But
I just wondered,
yeah.
not in your drawing.
a lot of lower branches will have to go at a minimum. And then we're not, we're into the root zone, but not, only like 25%. And we're fairly shallow with the excavations that we're doing.
I have an open mind about it. I planted it 28 years ago and I really like it, but I wouldn't have planted it tomorrow because I'm now a convert to native plants and it's from the Himalayas. So native somewhere, but not here.
So really she's wondering if it can go.
I do love it, but change happens.
Well, I mean, do we put a new one?
Your thoughts were.
I love it too, and I would lay down in front of any
Well,
shovel.
that's silly.
I'm allowed to love whatever tree I want.
Immigrant trees?
I love the fig tree as well. I don't think they're from the Atlantic seaboard, are they?
Anyway.
I think I will leave that call to all of you. But if I were doing it, I think we come in with, a new tree over here or a new tree in here somewhere.
So can I just see how it begins? I see. Oh,
So the tree is right about here.
yeah.
Yeah.
So could I ask a question?
I like your drawing better than the original plan.
Yeah.
I think it's more attractive.
My first thought when I saw your wonderfully communicative drawings was, why is that a right angle sidewalk there? Could you, I mean, I know that everything is so nice and straight and so it suggests a right angle, but a curve is so pleasing to the eye. And maybe.
It would take us farther. It would take us farther up the sidewalk.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, we need that to get up to there.
She was saying a curve instead of a right angle.
Yeah, I understand.
I mean.
It's
a
just-
curve-
Right
Yeah.
there.
What if you
Right
just-
here, it would mean the curve would be on the flat probably,
Right.
but it would take us out over here.
What-
We'd be farther.
Well, maybe that would be okay, but you could curve the inside maybe and not the outside. would just be so nice for landscaping, I would think.
But it would affect the garden farther to the west if you put it farther.
Oh, well, anyway, that was.
I think it looks fine the way it is.
So I will say that, our services don't include the landscape design, but I can see a lot coming back afterward, or over time with a landscape plan.
Sure.
You know, that would discreetly hide a lot of this.
Yes.
You know, we want these bushes to be big enough to hide that rail that we have to have. We massage the grade a lot to not have to have guardrail along the sides of the stairs. The only guardrail we need is that well on the back side.
Do you understand what he's saying?
No.
This part. Yeah, this part,
Yeah.
can you just describe what's
Yeah,
happening?
we'll see
here?
it on the other end
Okay.
a little better, but basically, we're berming this up a little bit, 2 feet max there. Same thing on the other side of these stairs, to not have to have a heavy guardrail like that on the side. The drop off is limited, you don't need the full guardrail.
So the surface where the entrance to the church is, you have it in little rectangles as if it was tiled. That's just art.
That, we're proposing flagstone.
And the ramp would be flagstone? No.
No, the ramp is concrete, that's concrete. But the
The part
approaches,
there into the parlor stuff.
yeah, the approaches to the church are flagstone.
But the flagstone pieces that, I mean, you showed me,
Yeah, we're
that
talking
they're big 2x2s, they're not small, right?
18 by 18 to 24 by 36.
Okay, and the reason why I asked this question is because I said, for snow shovelers, the smaller they get, the harder they are. to shovel. And so, but they are larger than, they're not precisely like what you're showing, they're larger, more regular
Yeah.
shapes.
Can I ask, what is behind between the two entrances? What is on the front side of the ramp?
Oh, the back wall,
No, the front, towards the street.
this wall,
Yes.
the same stone as the,
No, there's stone on the bottom of the ramp. That's stone too.
Stop.
Yes.
no, it's very low. The walls only come up about 4 or 6 inches above the ramp. But yeah, those would be stone.
I was just talking about below the ramp to the ground. What,
Yes.
it's not a bridge, so it'll
You
be
mean behind
maybe
the bushes?
Ah. You mean literally under the ramp?
Yes,
Okay, no, it's filled.
it's
It's
filled
filled with
in.
dirt, yeah, and the ramp is concrete on that fill.
Okay.
Good. The view from the sidewalk, that's where we're talking about the modification to the cheek wall. And then you can kind of see the slight infill that we're going to do here. I mean, we're going to have plenty of spoils to use for fill there to make the grade work. Other way from the sidewalk, again, that's the guardrail we need. And lighting, we need to light the ramp, and we're proposing simple bollards in the landscape portion adjacent to it. We thought about lights in the work itself, but if those go bad, it's a lot more work to get them to change them.
Will the lights be directed down?
Yes, only down.
So can I ask a question? So I want to go back to the surface of the ramp, the elevation part. So underneath you said was fill. And so then you've got footings.
Yep.
And then are the footings covered with the surface material, or are they just concrete footings?
The foundation wall?
Yeah.
The foundation walls have stones. Like behind these bushes, that would have stone.
Okay.
You know, this has stone on
Okay,
that side.
okay, that's what I wanted.
Thank you, Deb. I wanted that too.
So, I love flagstone, but is it more slick when it's wet?
No, it's got good traction to it. Good. So this just clarifies the different materials. The green is the flagstone, the yellow is the concrete, and the blue is the new garden walls. just a paving plan. Nothing new to show there. That's what you were asking about, the stone facing on that wall without the bushes in front.
And will the facing on the back side between the ramp, there won't be any back there, right?
That side, we're just gonna parch and paint rather than spend the money on stone
Right,
back
right.
there. Yeah.
Would anybody like to see it a little closer? Should we move the TV closer? Does that help?
And then you all can scan.
I think they had also sent out a
That's
link
fine.
to these
That's fine.
documents.
Yes.
In your there should be in your email
Yes.
in the last week or two. So
And then the rest is just the, where we are with the details that we submitted. That's the wall. You were asking about the foundation wall. So this is the window well. We don't know exactly, but we think the well, the footing is as deep as the well, as deep as the foundations of the church. You scroll up a little bit more. No, sorry, the other way. A little more, bigger. Oh, back,
No, that.
back. Right there. So we have to bring these new footings fairly close. So it's gonna be a large excavation that's happening out front.
How deep is that footing?
The existing footing,
No, the one you're proposing.
well, it's only gonna be 2 or 3 feet up from the church footing. So we're
So, I know,
down
but how, what is that? Do you have an idea?
10 feet.
Wow, that's,
And, you know, and then 8 out here. But again, the backside of this will just be parched, but the stone will be towards the ramp and the stone on the face.
and how many of
Towards the
those
street.
footings do you have along the ramps?
You want to go back to the floor plan, the color floor plan? So those footings are here, 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 you know, basically here. Well, this doesn't. It's just the blue would be the foot.
But the entire length of the ramp will be.
That whole
upgraded
thing
all
is
the way down.
excavated.
Yeah, it'll all go up.
So structurally, that's gotta be over designed.
No,
Seriously?
I mean, you don't want it to move. And if we take it only 2.5 feet down, that's the zone of fill of the original church. Yeah, we could make an assumption that it's settled as much as it's ever gonna settle. But if we're doing it right, we need to take it that deep.
pretty rocky.
Yeah. That's, well, yeah. We're good. I mean, go back to the section, Mark. Sorry.
Go back to
That section we were at before with the show the footing. One more. Here. So by putting it this deep, we are not imposing additional load on the wall.
Yeah,
that's
that
there.
one, okay, that I can see.
You know, maybe we can get up to here, so we're staying away from there, but I gotta get
And what's
our
the
engineer on
distance
board,
between the two, do you think?
about 3 feet.
I mean, the shallower we dig, the less expensive, I'm assuming.
Yeah, marginal, I mean, if you're digging that deep, that much more, it doesn't matter that much. Yeah. But if we could be up here, it would make it big.
You can't do that shallow, or it wouldn't be stable.
We'll do the best we can. Yeah. And that might come down to determination when they start work. You know, we'll price it under one set of assumptions. If we start digging and find where this footing is, that it's higher, then we can adjust at that point. Get credit.
And that's gonna be in the specs.
That's just detailed through the lower approach. I think that's the last one, yeah. Okay. What other question?
to Catherine's question, on the lower ramp where it showed it in yellow, there, go back up one, or even there, is it possible, I guess, is it possible to, I understand that a curve would make it bigger, but is it possible to round off the inner corner? Just so it's easier to turn the corner with a wheelchair, without.
We'll look at
Sorry,
it.
that if you have to go all the way up to the corner and then do a right angle turn with a wheelchair, it might
So-
be challenging, but if you just, kept that external corner the same, I don't know if the elevation would allow you to round it off on the inner.
So we have to make the turn on a level surface.
Because
Okay.
there's too much elevation.
Right.
Yeah.
So we need a 5x5 level surface to make the
So it'd
turn.
be big enough.
So if we bend the ramp,
Uh-huh.
we can't level out and bend at the same time.
Yeah,
So
but you can put an inner radius in, that's not big.
if you did it here, that transition, you'd have to push it out.
Not.
You gotta trust me on that. Yeah, because we can't warp in two directions and keep the landing flat.
The landing's level, right?
The landing is, so if we start the radius back here, now we got that much more level
Oh, you
surface.
just have some super elevation to play with.
It exceeds what we need for ADA. Basically,
Yeah, in order to make the turn, you would have to drag this out and make this landing bigger in order to get an inner radius here. Like we can't adjust this part of the ramp because it's sloping. So if you wanted to add a turn, we'd have to drag this out and then start the inner radius here, and then you'd have, even if it was like a foot radius, it's enlarging that landing.
but I get the desire to make the turn easier for a wheelchair.
Question?
Just thinking ahead, maybe another 10, 15 years for me, how could I navigate that hill and get up there by myself?
If you have the strength to push the wheelchair up that slope, then you could do it.
Yeah, but I may not have the
You may
strength.
not.
There's the side entrance, I could just wheel myself in and on level ground.
So that's a discussion, that's not for us, that's for you all. So we were given this to run with.
Are we keeping the elevator or the lift and the side entrance, all that staying the same?
Yeah.
So the option is there.
The option is there to come in downtown. Ellen, also, we're leaving the existing situation there, so there is a possibility.
Yes,
of coming
if somebody
through.
wants to come in through, right,
And use the
currently
lift
people
still
can
there.
come in through the Kinder House door and come on the lift, that's still the
If no other questions, we go out and look at it.
I'm not thinking so much about going down, but it seems like you could get going up rather, but you could kind of get up ahead of steam going down.
You could,
What is the slope? Is it,
1 in 12, which is the
can you
minimum.
estimate it on your hand, kind of like?
If that's a foot, we're going that much.
I mean, it's to code, so it's what, I
What
mean,
the code
it's
is.
what other buildings, yeah.
The preservation is,
It's more gradual.
the preservation is throughout the option of, well, what if you made it steeper? She said we could do a code modification to make it steeper, and if that's just, are you spending all this money, why would you?
Crazy.
Yeah, right, exactly.
We have to have permits.
Wipe out the wheelchair
To be able to push the wheelchairs.
So, all the access ramps you see around town, that's the slope that they are.
The guardrail will be staying all the way up, it'll be just occasional.
3 or 4 feet on center with the picket, and then a simple handrail like you have now.
So is 3 or 4 feet between the,
The width of the ramp is 4 feet.
right, and the width or the distance between each one of the,
You go to that one.
it's, I just wondered about children falling
One
through.
more, one more. Yeah, so these are 3 or 4 feet on center. The fall hazard, up here is, you know, you've got a bad fall hazard now because the walls are low when you come out of church, but we're gonna carry the new handrail all the way to the wall of the church to, you know, improve that situation.
Right.
And then from there down, it's a 30-inch drop from the steps to adjacent grade, which is the limit where you don't need a guardrail.
Got it.
You talk about the rails there on the entry to the church?
Cut it up here. Up top.
Yes, it's all.
Yeah, that's where, right now the handrail stops there. And I think some people might feel a little unsteady anyway, getting from there to the door, maybe it's slippery, so that's where we're carrying it all.
So that's why you're extending it to the.
That
wall.
and to separate the distance to the drop more.
Got it.
It's a 30-inch drop, just about the drop you have from a normal
Table.
Normal,
Yeah,
same would be as this.
yeah, that's it. So we're looking forward to tomorrow night. We'll have a better feel for where the ANC is coming tomorrow night. Hopefully the Cleveland Park Historical Society won't change their prior ruling approving it. They were unanimous when they approved it before, but
Is
again,
that the arc of
the ARC is tomorrow and then the, I'm sorry, ANC is tomorrow, ARC is the following. Yeah. We won't have the staff report, so the preservationist does a staff report. We won't have that till a week before the hearing.
Mark, what makes best sense in terms of informing the congregation about how they can be involved? Would it make sense for the trustees to send out an email early this week with the information people need to have so that?
Since I get the information from Lou, and we, you know, the point paper, we put together a point paper, it's already been submitted, and it has a lot of nice bullets in there, and so we'll send that out as well.
Okay. So, I was wondering if things get slowed down so that we have to put it off till next summer, would it be possible to just do the 2 staircases this summer, even without the approval of the, whatever you're waiting for?
Possible, but I don't think it would make sense.
Because of just.
Extra cost, you'd be mobilizing the contractor twice, you have to figure out start, stop, you know, physically where to start and stop the work. You have temporary barriers that you have to do. I think just do it all at once.
So I'm hearing that, this August is not possible.
No,
No,
It
is
is.
possible.
Oh, it is possible.
Unless the board,
Got it.
okay,
Okay, awesome. Sorry, I'm glad.
Which is why whatever we can do to support the meeting at the end of
Yes,
March.
no, I got that part. I got that part, yes.
not just that meeting,
But
the
they're
other,
no longer restricted to just August. They're prepared to build the ramp anytime during the year. Kinderhouse said it was okay.
Well, no.
no.
What
no,
wasn't
so
made
that's-
clear, what wasn't made clear to Kinderhouse, the Kinderhouse was consulted about parking and some other things. The amount of jackhammering that's gonna have to go on.
So it has to be August.
It has to be August.
Well, so that was my question, Serena, actually. If, God forbid, you know, we don't get everything approved and we can't do it this August, is there an option for, say, the jackhammering to happen only on Saturdays? I mean, I'm assuming no, okay, so.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
Kinderhouse,
So it's either this August or next August.
Kinderhouse got really upset when we put in new carpeting in the choir room because we made too much noise. So I don't think they're gonna be appreciative of it.
And the children were crying.
Yes, they were,
I mean,
they
it
were
wasn't
crying. It
just-
wasn't like they were, but they were scared from the noise just from the cell carpet. So jackhammering outside August or anything is gonna be problematic.
I mean, you could control
Did
time
they
of
sign
day.
the lease yet?
Sorry.
You could control the time of day that they do the jackhammering. You know, they're usually gonna get here and start work at 7 in the morning.
Yeah.
You know, they could stop by lunchtime.
Well, but they have kids arriving at 8 and anyway, it would be complicated. We just gotta pray a lot that the HPRB, that HPRB actually gets their act together. I think it's a matter of them having enough people on the board, isn't it?
Oh, that's another problem. Yeah, they don't have a quorum yet. The council has to approve the new member. And it will be a set of new members who will be looking to, cut their teeth on this.
Right.
Just going back to the ramp and the gradient, okay. So we were talking about that it's a 1 to 12 and that's code, but are you confident that that will be workable, not just for wheelchairs, but also for people that might have walkers or other assistive devices?
So my mom uses a walker, my dad's in a wheelchair, and 1 to 12 ramps. My mom can handle a 1 to 12 ramp. My dad doesn't have strength to roll up, but me pushing him, I can get him up fairly easy on a 1 to 12.
Thank you. I have to say, one of the things I like about this proposal is, I'm working with my own parents who are still reasonably ambulatory, thankfully. If they're gonna come out of the church, leave the sanctuary and have the option for the ramp now, they're gonna take that safer option. And so I love that that's now gonna be open to anyone who chooses to come and worship. It's gonna be an easy, this is a less challenging path. Let me just take it.
I hope it will attract families with strollers.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, the other thing that he hasn't mentioned is most of the time you're not cheating to go flatter than a 1 to 12, you're cheating to go deeper, right? So the 1 to 12 is tried and true, and almost everybody can make it up and down.
If you go,
Be built up in the part from this corner of the building,
here,
that to the sidewalk. Will the grade be changed there or just in the midsection?
not behind the wall, in front of the wall just a little bit.
Just a little bit?
Yeah, not less than a foot.
Will the wall that's there remain or will you replace it?
The wall that's
I'm
here,
at the wall at the sidewalk.
oh, no,
Sorry, I'm
that'll
not very
remain. Yes,
So-
that'll remain.
Sorry.
That stays.
Got it.
Going back to that garden entrance, it's right next to the right hand side.
Oh, yeah, I forgot, sorry.
It's right next to it.
Can you go back to the site plan? Sorry, I forgot that. The color.
Okay.
I think it's on there. There's the gate. The gate's right there, so you're still 8 feet away from the gate.
I see that. Yeah, I think this is 5 feet, isn't it? Or the edge of the walkway.
Where?
Here's the edge of the building, and this is about 5 feet over,
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
And then this part is 5 feet wide, right? And then this is 4 feet.
Yeah, to give us the 5x5 turnaround that we need right there.
Right.
So the tree is, the cedar is right there. Good? Take a look outside.
Do you live in DC?
I live in Chevy Chase, Maryland.
They have senators and all that stuff. You shouldn't have to depend on the comments of other people's senators, it's so many different messages. Your kind of, what would you like to? Yes, it does.
Okay, shall we go?
Yeah, let's go outside.
I won't keep it. I just want to thank you. I obviously have a vested interest in all of this because
A number of decades, doctors have said eventually when you walker and then wheelchair. As wonderful as the drawings were, they were not for someone who were experts in analyzing. And so you have really answered. Because they're serious, they're much.
She's actually a subject matter expert on, transportation.
Yeah, right.
Anybody like to come outside? To go over?
Well, I guess they are. I think it's gonna go smoothly.
Well, we always think that, and then you say, hi. You know, the adventures of, like last week, I had a day on the couch, okay, so I'm away. That's what you do.
I'm gonna go out and see
I don't go downstairs.
Remind everybody that we.
But that's why you want to talk to your neighbors, because they have experience.
It's up to the DC.
Oh, that's. So, I mean, I wouldn't say anything.
That's why I started like this.
You know, have this conversation with neighbors, and you see things you should go on you. And that's.
We lost that.
And then we should talk to your neighbors on the block. So you have no hearts and you're exchanging, and everybody knows something and we don't know. And that's what neighbors are for.
All right, goodbye, Harold. Okay, bye.
You had trouble hearing? I mean, I can't tell whether I had an earring or whether he wasn't talking about.
He was talking very soft.
Right, and to me, that's a warning sign. I mean, people have different value, different good points, whatever. But if you're so impractical, you don't even speak loud enough, even when you're asked to, that's a warning sign of what else won't be. I mean, we have.
I hadn't thought about that, but I don't.
Yeah, what's going on? We can get academic, and you say, well, everybody's imperfect, but how to manage, depends on,
I know exactly.
yeah. And so I study the food people produce and the work, but if nobody speaks up, I spoke up and nobody heard it. And that's part of the wonderful else, because it's a nice, it's everyone, but,
Yeah, I couldn't hear all you said. It was, you just speak. And so I'm thinking, I think.
That's what I said. I was within striking distance of stepping out.
Yeah, exactly. Wise man. It is a gorgeous day for the little outdoor field trip. That's good.
Yeah, you don't overcome, when you develop advocacy instincts, they don't go away.
Exactly. And you put them to good use.
I'm gonna discard them unless you'll leave them.
It's not aesthetics. Not just guys, but it's the one that they talk about the people like that.
no clue about how these people.
Are they ever thinking that they might replace any of these doors?
We were talking about that, Catherine and I were trying to, I don't think we can replace them because of resale value. I think we have to have them refurbished or redone. And Catherine found some Amish carpenter. But I don't know if they include in the prices.
No, I'm sure that's different. But
But they're,
I've always thought it'd probably be good to frankly get rekey the whole place.
yeah,
too,
well,
because-
John Marshall's been talking about putting code locks on them instead of having, so.
Oh, interesting.
Then we can issue codes to people who need it, and then we can keep track of who's.
Oh, that's true.
You know, because
That's the modern way, it's the
Yeah.
revolution of the internet,
Yeah.
people just don't do the things that they did 30 years ago.
Yeah.
And the next generation can't even understand your stories about the world.
My kids,
Yeah,
that was a good, you know, I didn't believe one time it was like before, because I got this, and somebody who was giving me a shot said, you sound like a broken record to one of the kids, and they all looked at her like, what does that mean? What is a record?
Are you talking, 93 or 78 or 45?
Yeah, exactly, exactly, but anyway, it was kind of a funny thing, and also my kids have never seen a tape.
Yeah, you can't even believe it, because there's no phone tape on the phone.
The other thing that I always thought would be useful is put proper locks on the office, since we have a lot of
Yeah.
documents in there. And,
Well, I talked to Meg about, it's really hard to do it on that old door. I talked to Meg about just putting like a slide bolt in it, you know, on one side and putting it, filling the hole in.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And she's nervous about that because, you know, and maybe we should talk to her some more about it. She just said, then it, you know, but she said it's not terribly convenient for some people to come in and.
Well, that's where you want to consult other churches or similar things, including what the neighbors say about the Rio Grande Presbyterian. You know, how much do we know our neighbors? Our neighbors have seen things we can't see,
Exactly.
including having talked to people on the block about their reactions.
Right.
But, you know,
I think that's it.
what Ellsbury and Andrew and Carter had done with their house on 4th Street, and they were sued, and it was blocked for 6 months. They said they were legally right, but the neighbors don't like it. This is part of the game you play. And I think he's totally honest about it. So you need to get these stories about how to, so I was recommending to Edmund, the public next door neighbor, Luzanne Miller.
Right.
Because we want to anticipate stories about this
Right,
stuff,
exactly.
and we're not doing that. And it's a great way to meet neighbors.
Well, we've already sent letters.
Yeah, well, that is one thing, there's one step, but then, you know,
Actually going to the door.
yeah, well, meeting and taking out the trash and getting to know them. And not just text and words, but, and that's how to change the world. We don't know our neighbors, we're all in glass-gated communities and we're so shocked. And it's very costly, that's how we have to costly, economy, we don't know our neighbors and everybody has to defend themselves. And then you get sent medical bills and say, oh, you pay it. So, you know, what do we mean by knowing neighbors? You know, what neighbors for?
Right.
And who matters? I'm talking to senators about that. It matters. I mean, if he lives in the green world of Chevy Chase, he probably has not much clue about how DC politics actually works.
Except that he's done a lot of projects in DC,
Yeah.
so he's aware of.
Well, you're aware at some level and you're blind at others, but I really think you should seek out Luzanne Miller's,
Is she still on, involved in the ANC and?
I don't think so, but she's a next door neighbor of Holly
Yeah, so she
And
probably
then,
was.
of course, the other thing, of course, and then, of course, he's two girlfriends driving was to DC Gov. But their daughter died of COVID, not COVID, drug abuse. I knew you
Opioids?
they went to the funeral and that is, it was so shocking. You always think sorry to, and you find out your daughter. But so all these things go wrong but meantime, just to build, the church or whatever, build community, take opportunities and those people.
Yeah.
I think this is very good.
Sorry, to interrupt. I would think about
And like, they're gonna sell houses on this block, or we want to talk to people.
So this is downstairs.
Thank you all.
There is a key that you have to use to go in and out. If we start having groups meeting down here, will we just tell everyone where these keys are?
Yeah, well, there's one on the.
I mean, I know there's the one downstairs.
Well, there's also one on the rack, on the key rack in there, and it's labeled Kinderhouse Hall door.
But there's no way to have a lock where you can unlock it and let people in, and then it just sort of locks automatically when they leave. Whoever is leaving, if they're down there,
We'll have to relock, yes.
We don't care if multiple people in the room.
But that's a good effort with the community building with other churches or other organizations.
Cheryl, I gotta go now.
It's important to do it.
Okay.
Know your neighbors by doing something, asking the same questions.
Okay.
The,
You're teaching your son how to do it too? Wow. But the 100 reasons why you can do it, it's sort of like, what's not one night. You know, so the kids want to do, you do. If it's something, you're a good cook, you're gonna do it over.
Yeah, the elevator.
Thank you.
Inspiring neighbors to be patient.
Mark, can you get this back
A
up?
little hours for
Can you
walk.
get this back up?
Yes. So is it just tabled? Is that how?
Where's
It was.
There's steaks out there and they pulled off the steak.
Wow.
Well, no.
I didn't want to stuff.
Are you still gonna do the other house?
I am, if it's okay.
Yeah.
I have to go to the restroom.
Yes,
I'll be right back.
nope, you can't. That takes too much time. Say whatever. Always easy, always